Here we go.
This the War Report coming live every Tuesday at 7 with Steve, Cat, Ryan, Amanda, and Eric. And the voice of NEW, Vince Berry. Hitting all the topics like a clothesline flurry. Turn up your speakers and hear them out. You can listen from your car, even on your couch. They too raw, who NXT? Handing out SmackDowns, follow on IG. Plus, it's sponsored by Tag Me a Date. Go to YouTube and sub now for every update. It's all wrestling here. No safe space. Now listen in. Time to hear from some of the greats.
Welcome everybody to another edition of the War Report After Dark. A lot went down on SmackDown, a lot went down on Raw. We've got Saturday night's main event coming up, Money in the Bank, SummerSlam. Whole lot of shit.
Unbelievable.
But welcome everybody to another edition. Where do you guys want to get started? I'm thinking maybe we just start with SmackDown. Although,
what do you want to talk about?
Hey, we got rid of that guy. There's no more of that.
Oh, how fast we forget.
David Rosca over at YouTube.
David.
What's up, boys? What's going on, David? And then he says,
David?
New York Knicks will win this year's NBA championship. From your mouth to God's ears, my friend.
That would be
Touche.
wonderful.
Touche here.
That would be fucking awesome. And Tara's with us. Tara, hello.
What's
So,
up, Tara?
we've had an interesting week in pro wrestling.
Oh, yeah, let's start off, by the way. Your fault.
My fault.
You put the curse on Zoe Stark, and then she got in. This is your fault that Zoe Stark snapped her leg in half.
Fucked
So,
up.
I had a feeling. I had a
Bad
feeling.
vibes. You put bad juju out there.
I had a feeling we were going to start with this, as everyone knows my disdain for Zoe Starks. And I will say, as happy as I am to know that she will not be on my television screen for quite some time,
This is the most brutal backhanded, get well soon.
I would
Definitely
never,
top five.
I don't wish injury upon anyone, and that does include Zoe Stark. And to be honest, if you watch the clip in slow-mo, it is fucking brutal, and she is going to be out for quite some time.
Yeah,
Again,
yep.
that I'm okay with, but I would rather her be wished the best in her future endeavors than to suffer an injury.
You know what? You know what, Vince? I'm convinced that this was genuine because he actually called her by her name
That's true.
and not shit stains.
You know
I
what?
did,
You're right.
yeah.
He did use her proper name.
So you know what? I do accept that apology.
Thank
Shalom,
you.
my brother.
Shalom.
Hopefully, Zoe. It's not up to us. It's up to Zoe Stark, who somehow knows in the universe that this guy's been talking shit about her for like a year. So
Doesn't change the fact that I don't like
No,
Starks.
Yeah, that was.
But I don't wish that injury on anyone, and it did look brutal. I mean, if you go back and you one of the nice things about Netflix is you can rewind like 10 seconds at a time, and if you listen to the screams, you felt for anybody in that. I mean, that's a bad one.
There was a fan recording of it, like they got it with their iPhone and they put it up on like Twitter or something, and you could see her leg goes like 90 degrees the wrong way, sideways, and that is that's I mean the ACL could get damaged in there, or maybe the ACL's in the middle, the PCL's in the back. You've got the MCL and the meniscus on either side. Those are the two. When a leg bends the wrong way, those are the ones that are going to get torn. As somebody who's crashed and burned on skis and done this exact thing almost.
Meniscus is kind of what you want, though, right? Like worst case scenario.
Meniscus wouldn't be as bad as an MCL.
Uh-oh.
Hair on an MCL and a meniscus can repair themselves over time because there's still a connection. If there is no connection between the two, obviously you have to get surgery. Did my internet cut out?
Yeah, a little
You're
Alright.
a little bit in and out, but you're good.
All right, yeah. So basically, if there's a full tear, they have to take an implant, like they take a ligament from the front of your leg bone and put it in there, or they get a transplant from like a cadaver or something, and then they put that in there. So if it's partially torn, they probably still will do some surgery on it, but it's a lot short. Like it's the difference between a 3 to 6 month injury and a 6 to 9 month injury, depending on the severity.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it definitely seems severe. David Rosca, Zoe Stark should not be injured. I mean, again, you don't want to see
she
anyone
went.
get
Listen,
injured.
I give her all the credit in the world. She went for some shit I've never seen her do before. She jumped she did like a springboard off the top rope, like a ninja fucking drop kick, and just landed wrong on her leg. So I mean,
Well, you got to remember too. This was her opportunity to.
It was coast to coast. That was the other
break
thing. The other
away.
girls-
To break away. You know what I mean? Because she's always been with somebody or in a group. You know, now they're no longer in the company. So, like, this
Right.
was her chance to, like, shine a little bit.
And
then,
yeah, she's in there with other bigger names, and if she
Right.
can impress people, because more people are going to watch those matches with like Rhea Ripley or whoever's in it, she gets more eyes on her match. The whole thing's
Right.
terrible because like you could even see I think, and it's nobody's fault. It was just that she goes, oh wow, she's really far away, so I got to go extra. So she almost went like it wasn't coast to coast because it wasn't diagonal, but it was rope to rope, which is still a long way across. I feel like if the other girl was maybe 2 steps inward, she just would have hit a drop kick and not had to like reach as much. But you know, that's the nature of the business. It's live performing. The same shit could happen at the circus or, you know, Universal Studios or whatever. That's the risk they run, you know, in the job they chose.
That's why they tell you not to try this shit at home. David Rosca, Solo and Jacob Fatu segment was awesome last Friday. So let's talk about that segment because I happen to agree. I like the goofy type of personality we're starting to see out of Solo. Like the sarcastic and like this and that. Obviously, things are not good between Jacob and Solo. And now, which we also have to talk about, Jeff Cobb, who is now JC Mateo, I think it is.
JC Mateo.
Kind of feeling we should have kept Jeff Cobb. I don't know. Like,
here's
or
the
JC. Like, leave out the Mateo. Like, just
JC
call him
is
JC because everyone who knows him as Jeff Cobb. If you call him JC, you're kind of like, okay.
Because his name could still be Jeff Cobb, and then everybody just calls him JC.
Right, exactly.
But this
I
is
have a question. Is he Samoan?
No.
he's from Guam.
Okay.
He's Guamanian, born in the U.S. in Hawaii. His parents moved to Guam. He lived there for most of his life. Then he did like college and stuff back in the U.S. But because he had Guamanian citizenship, he competed in 1 or 2 Olympics for Guam in freestyle wrestling. So this is the other thing I just wanted to touch on real quick. I'm sure you're going to talk about LFG, but the one thing that I noticed, and I didn't realize this, is they took the girl who won the fucking gold medal in the Olympics and changed her name.
What do they call
It's the
her?
same thing with JC Mateo. So oh god, what's the
Did
girl?
she
just
debut
won.
on NXT already?
She just won LFG.
I know she did, but did she didn't debut on NXT?
No,
or-
but they gave her a kayfabe name now.
Oh, they did? I didn't even know they gave her a name already.
It's the same initials.
We'll
so
get
it's-
into LFG
Yeah, we'll get
because
into.
I have some things to say about
They
LFG.
changed the names of people like Katana Chance, and I know she's released now, but part of her draw was that she was Casey Catanzaro or whatever. She was from fucking Ninja Warrior. There
Right.
was like name brand recognition directly from Ninja Warrior to her character, and then they threw that all away by changing her fucking name. It makes no sense. But
You know,
anyway,
Vince used to do it all the time, but then with Triple H, he started to, you know, for some, you know, keep their name. So I just figured, you know, I don't know. It just surprised me a little bit. But that doesn't change the fact that Cobb is an absolute monster.
he's great.
And he's great. What people also may not know, too, he has a history with Jacob Fatu. They have fought quite a few times over on the indies. And
Oh,
they've
nice.
put on some sick fucking matches. So we're going to be in for a treat because this is obviously the start of Jacob becoming the massive face and going at, and then having his battle between Jeff Cobb to get to Solo. Tara, I missed the beginning of SmackDown, was watching the baseball game. Did they explain the name change? No. They don't really ever talk about explaining the name change. But I did think it was an interesting choice to bring into Solo's group, but not mad at it. He's ultimately the new enforcer. So I'd like to see where this is going to go. But I like how Solo was cutting off Jacob, and then, of course, the whole thing got interrupted by LA Knight. And then that kind of kicked off the whole show.
And I know this is more funny than factual, but one of the comments I saw online was, we are now at the point of the bloodline where Bret Hart joined NWO 2000. Just like, that's so.
Well, towards the end, everybody, including the janitor, joined the NWO.
Yeah, exactly.
I think I was part of the NWO for a week, if I recall.
And listen, you got a tan, you could just say you're Samoan, you're in the bloodline.
Absolutely. All I need is a wig.
That's right, one of those curly wigs.
That's it.
Oh my god.
Alexa Bliss, Michin, Chelsea Green, triple threat to be a contender in the Money in the Bank. I'm glad to see Alexa Bliss back. I like how she still wears the tribute jacket for The Fiend, and she comes out with Lily and the whole thing. But I want my evil Bliss back.
Right.
We haven't even started to get hints of the Wyatt Six. From what I understand, they're all healthy again. They're ready to go. I'm hearing Bliss is going to be a part of it, but we're not getting, like, hints. We're not getting flickers. We're not getting, we just have regular Alexa Bliss, which, I mean, like I said, I love Alexa Bliss. But when she did the evil Bliss deal, I mean, that was some of her best work. And I think she could really do something good back with Nikki Cross and then Bo Dallas and the rest of them.
Right.
So.
I just, yeah.
But she did win, and she's now in Money in the Bank, which is great because maybe by losing Money in the Bank, it brings her back to the dark side, or something happens during the match and the Wyatt Six help her win Money in the Bank.
That would be great. I know there was like injuries or whatever, but I think there could have been a way to save this Wyatt Six thing, regardless of the injury to Wyndham, to Captain Howdy.
It can still be saved.
Right, but I'm saying what they could have done was they could have had him do some sort of promo to reintroduce Alexa as part of the group, and then he could get attacked, or he could just say, I have to go away for a while and fucking disappear all spooky like behind some smoke. Like, there were ways to do this months ago where we're not just in Alexa Bliss limbo.
I have a problem with this conversation. I am a huge Alexa Bliss fan, and I don't think the Wyatt Six problem should be involved in my girl Alexa Bliss. Let her be. They're doing great with her. All you want to do is have her over there to go save these fuckers, which I don't know what they're doing with them, but I feel like she'll get lost in the sauce with all of them. Because that's a lot of people to put in a group together.
Alexa Bliss will take a leadership type role of the Wyatt Six.
Right.
She will be a focal point of that group. You know what I mean? She's going to bring that missing piece of Wyatt.
It does make sense, I guess, right? Because she could go back to that dark side.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
Can I tell you the funniest?
The dark side got me.
I saw there was a whole thing on either Twitter or Blue Sky, because they're basically the same app, but somebody was commenting, like the official WWE account posted Alexa Bliss wins the qualifier or whatever. One of the comments below it was, who let the old lady in the match? Like, I'm talking about Alexa Bliss. Like, why?
I hope that person gets shot.
The next comment was Chelsea going, I'm 3 years older than Alexa. What are you talking about?
Yeah, like some of these people are so fucking stupid. You know what I do like though? One kind of tease we did get was from Alexa. She apparently posted, so there was a fan in Hardcam View that said Fireflies forever.
Ooh.
And at the very end of the match, remember when she poses and she points up like to Bray?
Uh-huh.
Somebody got a shot with her doing that, and that Firefly sign was in the background. She retweeted it and said, Fireflies forever, or something to that effect. So, we're getting, I guess, a little small hint of a possibility.
You know what? If they're hiding it from us, it's awesome. But knowing WWE that they always give you a little bit hint of something, it would have been cool to see, like the lights shimmer a little bit.
Right.
Like
That's
give
what
us
I'm
a little
saying.
hint,
Which
give
we
us a
might still
little-
get.
Ooh, it would be great if you see it at Elimination Chamber. You're right, and then they appear all of a sudden. I mean, not Elimination Chamber. I'm sorry, at Money in the Bank.
You know what they should do? Because now you have AI. You should have, like, somehow the voice of Bray talking to Alexa.
They could just use old audio too. They have so much.
Oh, true. And
Audio.
just kind of like say, go help the six, lead them, or whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, they could do something really cool with that.
I don't know.
Could you imagine? Could
Go
you
ahead.
just imagine? So, a few years back, if you recall, it was a concert, and they brought like a hologram of Tupac and some
Michael Jackson.
other people, and
Yeah.
was it Michael Jackson, etc.
Yeah.
Michael Jackson. Yeah, there's.
Wouldn't
remember
it be cool if WWE some way or another does a Bray Wyatt one for him to still lead them out there and
that'd
be the
so
face of the team, and he could cut promos in the ring and all that shit.
You could just have him sitting in the rocking chair in the
That would be
rampway.
such a. And then when they blow out the lantern,
He disappears.
boom,
Right.
and it's just the rocking show. Fuck, dude, that would be. And I know. Listen, it's. I felt. Did you ever watch those Star Wars movies where they tried to like turn the Princess Leia and the guy who played Grand Moff Tarkin into like CGI? Like they died before they
Yeah.
made these movies, and it wasn't quite there yet, and it looked weird.
It did look weird.
The other thing,
But-
the technology's better now, but they could also have him just if they're worried about if the face scan doesn't look right or whatever, they could always just put like the Fiend mask on him, and then
Right.
Even, now this shit got my head exploding, because imagine like this is next gen wrestling, and we actually get this in the future. Like, think about Cody winning a belt, and you put his dad in front of him, telling him how proud he'll be of him.
That would
the
be fucking
novelty
crazy. Could you imagine?
Ending a WrestleMania or something of that nature, of that.
And even so, think about this one: somebody like Vader, who died before he got into the Hall of Fame. At
Yeah.
WrestleMania, they have the little spot for
Right.
everybody, and everybody waves, boom, boom, boom. You go through the live people, and
Right.
then at the end, hologram.
100%.
Oh, and here's the other thing, dude. They've already got scans of most of these people, even if they've passed away.
Just from the video game.
On the video games. And I know,
Right.
and listen, they haven't changed the Ultimate Warrior figure since WWE 2K13, and it's 2025. So, like,
At
it's
all.
the same skin. No, at
I
all,
always
same
see
hair.
the same replay. He has the same fucking tights on, everything. Like, nothing's different.
But they have it. The technology exists.
It really does. Tara, if we were talking about anyone else but Alexa, I would agree with you, Al.
Oh, in
Yeah.
terms of, like being solo. Yeah.
Yeah.
I still don't know, and I understand it is a lot of people to kind of throw at you at once, but if they're already doing this like invasion angle, and she might have been pregnant at the time, but there was a way to get Alexa involved from with this group off the rip, and it would have given them more legitimacy and more of a tie back to the original, characters.
Yeah.
And then knowing what we know now with the injury to Wyndham, she could have taken over as the leader. And again, there was something where she wasn't ready to come back to work. She had a baby. She wasn't, whatever the circumstances were that she needed to take that time after her pregnancy, to get right. But then there was this other period where they're like, oh, Alexa's cleared. We just don't know what to do with her. You don't know what to do with her. She's one of the most over acts for the females that you've had in the last
She
10
should be
years.
the easiest one to book for.
Well, I mean, look, in all fairness to the writers, maybe they just don't want to put her in some bullshit fucking thing they wrote to like not give her the hot streak she deserved. It's all I could think is instead of just putting her in there and like think about it, you already have storylines developed at a certain point, right?
Mhm.
So you can't just insert her and all of a sudden she's gonna like rise to the top. She might get melted down a little bit climbing to the top instead of how they waited and she showed up in the fucking at the Royal Rumble as she should have, surprised, did her thing, got out, and then now she's going for fucking Money in the Bank. And who knows? I think she'll walk out of there with that briefcase. Like, who do you have so far out of the girls that have been qualified?
I mean, you got Roxanne, you got Rhea.
I don't think Roxanne's gonna win. Although Roxanne could win, she is a heel. I always like heels winning Money in the Bank. I
Hey,
think it's
listen,
better-
she's a heel, but she was pretty fucking over last night.
Who, Roxanne?
Yeah.
I mean, she's one of those heels, right? She crosses that thin line
I mean, she definitely has been a heel, but the crowd put her over big time last night.
because she's awesome. Because she's great.
She is.
at
That
being
match she
a-
had last night was great, and
She's-
we'll get into it too. But
She's
that
great
match
at
was
being a
good.
dick. She's great
Oh,
at
yeah.
just being an asshole. Like she wrestles furious. Well, we'll get into that, but yes.
And here's the other thing that they could have done, because they just they released Braun Strowman from his talent contract and re-signed him to some kind of weird, not quite a Legends deal, but come back when we need you kind of thing, and he still kind of collects a paycheck from him, but he's like, I guess his knees are too bad for him to continue wrestling full time. Team Little Big, they don't even have to tag together. He could just carry her out on his shoulders to the ring and just be like her manager. They could be heels, they could be baby faces. It doesn't matter because they both can do either. And you use Braun, you use Alexa. They also have a tie to Bray Wyatt, and at any time you could flip them over to being in the Wyatt Six. It could almost be a thing where they're baby faces, and it's like it's a big deal that Team Little Big is back together. And then you start to hear the dit and all the little weird things happening during Alexa's matches, and then the Wyatt Six can try and turn Braun and Alexa, and then next thing you know, Team Little Big is feuding with the Wyatts, but then at some point Team Little Big turns and joins the Wyatts, and then you have Alexa and Braun, who both have more ties to the original group than anybody else in the group now. And it's just, again, to me, the thing that was always going to hold back the Wyatt Six is legitimacy. And yes, it was Bray's idea, but because he wasn't around to execute it, it feels like his brother and a couple of the people like undercard NXT talent are just doing this Bray Wyatt thing, and it loses a lot of juice without the guy behind it.
I agree, but if the story's good, I think they can pull it off. Go ahead, Al.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
The angle that I would like for that Braun and Alexa, it would be like that intro that they did with Diesel and Shawn Michaels as his bodyguard. So that introduction keeps them out of the ring for sure, and just keeps them as the muscle. And that could translate also when he moves over to the Wyatts, right? He could just be that guy on the outside that no outside interference unless he wants to get interfered in the match is going to happen.
Right. And just to me, like, honestly, and this is a little morbid, but 2 of the original 4 Wyatts are no longer with us. Why wouldn't you take Redbeard, who's on the indies and hasn't been doing, he's just been working the indies. He's not anywhere on TV. And Braun, who's been doing nothing as well. Braun is a guy that they elevated to a world championship status, and then they just did fucking nothing with him. So yeah, have Redbeard and Braun and Alexa join. I know it's not 6 anymore, but it was never the number 6. It was 6 SICKS. So
Right.
Throw them in there. Like, what's the worst you could do to be like, we need Redbeard and Braun to show up once or twice a month on a SmackDown to help promote, or like stand on the ring apron during an 8-man tag or something, and maybe like come in and do a big boot and tag out. Like, there's things you can do, like what they did with Andre. Andre couldn't even walk. They put him with Haku. It was just like, there's little things that they used to do in the past that they don't think to do anymore. David, I see your comment. I will let you know. I do know it got to Canada, and I'll let you know if I might get an email back. So I'll let you know about the Trish Stratus thing, brother.
Fraxium versus DIY, by the way, was a great match.
That I'm gonna tell you, that group, man, that Fraxium group, they're I credit to them. I just found out they were both over 40 years old. They're 40 plus. I had no idea.
Fraxium?
Fraxium. They're both
I didn't
over
know
40.
What?
Yes. Google it.
I am going to.
Unless that was a fucked up, unless that was a messed up like fake news meme I got today. They're like 40 and 41 or something like that, and I was like, what?
Oh no, I'm seeing, according to Wikipedia, 28 and 26. There's no way those guys were 40.
That was bullshit. But outside of that, back to real life, they were awesome. They're great. They work together like, I don't know how long they've been together, but they look like fucking twins out there.
They really are good together.
I've seen minimizes of early botches that I used to see more on their matches. I don't know if that was the nerves when they first came up, but they look real good, man. I'm assuming, based on what I see, that they might dethrone the Street Profits somewhere in the future. I don't know if right now. I don't know if you want to take the belt right off them, or maybe they do. It all depends. But I think the Street Profits are hot. Yeah, right. I think they're hot right now, and they've been putting, like, dare I say, A+ matches lately. I mean,
and then think about this: if they do, if Fraxium, which is such a funny name anyway, but if they go in against the Street Profits, there's no shame in losing as long as you put on a good match and you put up a good fight, and as long as they look credible afterward and they look good afterward, and it wasn't like a squash or like you said with botches or anything. As long as they wrestle a good match, that's gonna elevate them.
And keep in mind, there is a draft coming soon. They could get moved.
That's true.
Because who's the look, I'm asking this fucking question. Who is the champ on the other side? I tend to forget. Oh, the the New Day. Right? New Day has the belt.
And they're currently dodging the War Raiders. Like, they're trying to find ways to not
Which is the same fucking story we've had since WrestleMania. And it's supposed to be a new day, no pun intended. Intended.
I just heard something earlier today, and I thought was funny. It's been 15 months since A-Town Down started teasing a breakup, and they're still teasing a breakup, but they're still tagging.
I love the slow tease, though.
But they've been teasing the breakup longer than they were tagging together before the breakup.
That's true.
All that could tell me is that they are planning. The brew is huge, right? So they must be planning something huge for one of them or both of them. And at this point, I think it deserves like one of those 2 out of 3 matches or something like. And we see a side of them that we haven't seen yet, as far as aggressiveness, because that's the one thing, my problem with them. I don't think they're like aggressive enough as wrestlers, and they're not high flyers to an extent. So I want to see a gritty match, which is usually what you get from rivals, right? When teams outside of the Usos, which was a super kick party, usually when teams split, you do have a gruesome, heavy hitting match. And I would like to see that from them, and hopefully somebody walks out of it a victor.
I think what's his name with the big teeth can't win. Because he's just been given. He won against Cena at a WrestleMania and all this shit. Right. Grayson Waller should win. The other guy shouldn't. Austin, with the big head.
Austin Theory.
No, he's already had. He's going to be fine because when they were teasing the breakup, the fans started chanting for him. And it kind of took him by surprise. So I think he might be okay if he gets turned on. And then even if he gets beat, because like I said, he had fucking Vince McMahon's secret golden egg. He had all this other happy horse shit. You guys remember the golden egg? Anyway,
I do.
He had all this crazy stuff. He beat John Cena at a fucking WrestleMania that they thought at the time was going to be John Cena's last WrestleMania. So he puts this kid over, and then again, they did fucking nothing with him. So maybe at this point, you turn Grayson Waller heel because he's the big guy. And that's the other thing. He's so big and Austin Theory's so small. It makes way more sense for him to just big boot this guy into the third row. And then, like you said, you have this hard-hitting match. You have like Austin Bret Hart style match. Somebody's busted open. Austin Theory puts up a good fight, but in the end, Grayson Waller is 1.5 feet taller than him and just kills him. And then by getting killed, Austin gets the sympathy. And by killing Austin Theory, Grayson Waller looks like a monster in comparison.
I like it.
Oh, JD McDonough also does have a big fucking head. Yes.
Question
But Austin
before
Theory
I
has
forget.
really, it's not the head for Austin Theory, it's the teeth. It's the subway
Question
tiles.
before I forget. Is John Cena's loss to Austin Theory at WrestleMania, pound for pound, the worst loss of his career after he was established as John Cena?
Probably.
He lost with interference from King Booker. John Cena suffered a pinfall loss to Kevin Federline.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
That's the only one that's worse. So, and I don't think it shouldn't even count. Yes, during the celebrity GM era, Britney Spears' ex-husband, ex-backup dancer Kevin Federline was a surprise GM, whatever, celebrity guest on Raw. This was like 2009, I want to say. They put on a 1v1 match, non-titles, whatever. John Cena versus Kevin Federline. They wrestle for a little bit. King Booker comes out and like clocks Cena with a belt or something. Kevin Federline got a fucking 1-2-3 on John Cena. That's in the books.
Jesus Christ.
This was around the same time that Vince McMahon sold, quote unquote, Raw, just Raw, to Donald Trump. And then in real life,
did he bankrupt that too?
The stock. So this is no joke. Vince McMahon fake sold Raw to Donald Trump in 2009, and the next day the stock price for WWE in real life went down because people who invest in stocks didn't understand that it was kayfabe, that it was part of the show, and they had to Vince McMahon. Canonically, in WWE history, Vince McMahon sold Raw, the brand, to Donald Trump, and then the next week bought it back for double the price.
That's funny.
These are the dumb things that were happening in 2009. This was all the shit that led to AEW being like
that
number
was
2.
2 years before I got back into wrestling because I lost track between 05 to like 09, 05 to 2011. So that whole new era, that John Cena shit, I really didn't watch it.
Ryan over at YouTube, wasn't John Cena WWE champ when he ate that pin? I believe so. Yeah.
It's crazy time.
It is
so
crazy.
yeah, that's the only one that's worse than losing to Austin Theory, although it's a bigger match and whatever.
So
Aleister Black versus Carmelo Hayes. That was another great match. Aleister Black can work with anybody. And that's not to take anything away from Carmelo Hayes either.
Right, no, he's very good.
That was great. Solo versus Jimmy versus Ray Phoenix. Solo obviously wins, which we kind of expected. So he's going to be in the Money in the Bank on the men's side.
Ray Phoenix not exactly getting the Penta treatment so far.
No. But I think at this point they're just waiting to put them back together or put them together.
So, question: what guys do we have as far as the Money in the Bank so far? We got Solo. Who else?
Is that it?
I think that's
was that
it.
the only men's? I think that was the only men's qualifier.
I'm gonna tell you the truth. I don't know who else could be in this, but Solo walking away with that would be kind of awesome. Because he could be a guy to milk that shit forever, and his corny tactics, like you said prior to. Like, I don't know. He just seems like the perfect person to have that.
May I pitch a scenario to you?
Absolutely.
It's December. I think is Saturday night's main event the last date in December that John Cena says if he has the title by that day he's done. I think that's the day, right? So there's a Saturday night's main event. Leading up to that, Cena's saying this thing about needing competition, blah, blah, blah. It's 1 month away. I'm going to walk away with the title. I'm going to be forever champion. Cody returns. Adrenaline, blah, blah, blah. Everybody goes bullshit. Cody versus Cena, Saturday night's main event. Either Cena wins and we think he's going to be champ, or Cody wins. Doesn't really matter, but I like it with Cena wins. Everybody thinks he's about to walk away forever with this belt. Armando Estrada walks out and holds up the briefcase. And then Jacob Fatu runs down, cashes in the briefcase. Samoan spike to John Cena. 1, 2, 3. He takes the title, and John Cena cannot retire as forever champion.
Oh my God. I fucking love it. I absolutely love it.
And
I
then,
hope WWE hears this shit and you patent it first.
And then you get this is a way. Now think about this. After that, what that means, John Cena has retired. Shocking thing, Jacob Fatu is the new champion. But you got a guy in the ring who just lost to the guy who retired, Cody Rhodes. Cody versus Jacob could be the next feud, and that ties back in to Cody versus the Bloodline, which, as we know, will never fucking end. So maybe the evolution of that feud is Cody chasing Jacob.
But you can't do that if you're going to turn Jacob babyface.
Well,
I don't think he has to be babyface.
Well,
he beats John Cena, and he's
Can I add to your story?
Yeah, please. We're brainstorming here. We're doing more work than the fucking writers who get paid.
At this point, with Money in the Bank, like Fatu and fucking Solo are beefing. And they're beefing over the fact that, this guy got the Money in the Bank and he's calling himself the new tribal chief because he's going to be the future champ. And they rub off that way. And they start feuding. And now he has this belt. And they could see themselves being in a WrestleMania match. Solo versus fucking Fatu. And they beef from that point on.
That could be,
from September up to WrestleMania. They beef one way or another. Because he'll cost Fatu the belt, obviously. And Fatu will have to drop the U.S. title, and now Fatu's going to want to go after his title because he made him lose it. I think that would be a great feud.
And I have one cherry to put on top of this scenario after the Samoan spike in the 1, 2, 3. As Jacob has the title around his waist, Armando Estrada opens the Money in the Bank briefcase, and what's in there alongside that contract? The Ulafala.
All right, right.
He takes it out. He puts it around his neck. He's got the Ulafala. He's got the belt. He does one of these. Boom.
I think we're there. I love it.
We're onto something. We're onto more than they are.
I love everything about it.
It's not like you've been watching this shit for 30 years. Might have picked up a thing or two.
All right, so let's shift over to Raw. I mean, we've kind of talked a little bit about Raw, but we had a great promo with Gunther and Logan Paul. And then Jey Uso getting some payback on Logan Paul, which then got receded at the end of the show, but we'll get into that. But
Aaron Judge just hit it out.
Did he?
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, he did.
That's the fucking tribal chief right there.
Yeah, that fucker is different.
Jesus Christ.
He is special.
By the way, hi Juan Soto. How's that fucking Mets contract working out for you, buddy?
Yeah, great series, you fucker.
0 for 8.
And he got, dude, the whole bleachers turned their back to him the first game. It was crazy.
Oh, it was great.
What was the match we were just talking about on Raw? Because I got so distracted by fucking.
Sorry about that. Sorry.
No, it's fine. No, it's good.
Well, I was gonna move on to Penta and AJ versus Baylor and McDonough, which was awesome.
Yes.
I didn't realize AJ Penta was the team I always wanted to see. Those two are great together.
That's a good team. Yeah. Holy shit. And I know AJ Styles is down a step. Could you imagine, like, 10 years ago, AJ Styles with Penta? Holy shit.
That would be amazing. David Rosca, Armando Alejandro Estrada, Sage Umaga. If Logan Paul wins the title, I'm done.
I don't.
Tara,
I don't
he's
think
not
he's
winning the title.
This is what's going to happen. Just if you're a Jey Uso fan, get used to this. The scenario they're playing up is that he's a vulnerable champion because this is his first singles title run. He didn't even have an IC or a US title run before this, only tag team championship. So they're going to play up that he's vulnerable as a singles competitor, and not only that, everybody recognizes it. So he's got multiple people gunning for him. He's got Gunther trying to get his title back, and he's got Jake Paul or whatever, Logan Paul over there, who's also just like trying to sneak in the back door and win a title, because he in Logan Paul's mind, he sees Jay as an easier path to a title than Logan Paul versus Gunther. He knows he's going to get his shit kicked out of him, but he's like, I could match up against Jay. And that's what I think a lot of the heels are going to come out of the woodwork thinking, I can't square up with Gunther, but I can square up with this guy. And then, this is where you've got multiple people kind of circling a vulnerable singles champion.
Tara, to answer your question from my perspective, I just believe, as far as titles are concerned, in the realm of wrestling, in the future right now, if you want to put it back to our days, I feel like the Universal title is obviously the WWE Championship.
Right.
Then our World Heavyweight Championship is truly what an Intercontinental Championship title was back in the day, because it's truly the workman's belt.
Right.
And is the champion that is going to be there every week, show up, cut a promo, and wrestle every single month a few times at least on TV. And then, your other titles like like for me, the U.S. Championship is a little more important than the IC right now, based on what I'm looking at for the last few years. Or correct me if I'm wrong. Where do we rank? Where would you rank those two?
Here's the thing. They would flip-flop between importance, because sometimes they would pay more attention. Like when the only person I can really remember who had a great modern IC title run was Shinsuke.
No, I mean just current right now. Like, who right now has the U.S. Championship?
Oh, well, it's Solo, right? Isn't he
right.
the U.S.
So
champ?
right now you got to say that Solo has the
No, U.S. is Jacob Fatu.
Oh, that's what I meant to say.
Fatu,
I knew it was a Samoan. It was so it's Jacob. It's Jacob. Yeah, Jacob's above, and who's the IC champion?
Wasn't no, it's not Braun.
This is the point we're trying to make.
Oh no, Dominic. There we go. Dominic truly becomes like the the television champion.
Yeah,
if you want to mix brands.
The good news is, with Dominic holding that IC title, it's gonna get elevated. It's gonna right. It's more relevant now. It's gonna catch up to
same thing as Jacob with the U.S. title.
Right, Jacob made that U.S. title more relevant for what? Because and immediately as soon as he got it at WrestleMania, it was more relevant. And he's just under Jay. And then, of course, the big belt is John Cena. There's, that's...
You could arguably say this has been as loaded as the championships on the male side have been collectively at one time in a very long time.
Agreed.
Think about the last time you saw so many over guys holding titles at the same time.
It was Evolution. Or The Shield. Like, those are the last ones I can think of who all had titles at the same time.
Yeah, but I'm not even talking about a stable. I'm just talking about individual guys.
I know, but that's what I'm trying to think of. Like, time. There was that time where like Beth Phoenix, Zack Ryder.
Yeah, but they didn't have the IC title, right?
Right.
Like the Shield per se. They just had they had at the time. They had the US and they had the tag team. That was pretty much it, right? The US tag team together.
But there was that point where like I think Zack Ryder had the US title, Cody Rhodes had the IC title, and he brought back the white strap. Beth Phoenix was the women's champion. I think the New Day was some of the tag champs. I think the Usos were the other ones, and then I forget who the world champion was. Stacked. And there's like there's a picture of all them, and it was supposed to be like a picture of like the new generation of who's coming up, and then fucking Beth Phoenix is gone, Cody's gone,
But were
Zack Ryder's gone.
I didn't watch back then. Were they that over as these guys were talking about back then? These guys are fucking over.
To be honest, Cody was missing something. He was right. Listen, the people wanted him, but he wasn't. Let me put it this way. He was wrestling in trunks and boots with no knee pads. He looked like he was wearing a fucking diaper. There was just no way. Then he grew a mustache and finally got some knee pads, and he was getting over with that. And then right at the point where you thought like Cody was going to win this Money in the Bank, they give it to Damian Sandow, who then fucking lost to John Cena almost immediately, and there was like no reason for him to hold the Money in the Bank because he was just, if the rationale being if you were just going to lose anyway, give it to Cody, have him put in a good showing and fucking lose. But like to just give the Money in the Bank to Damian Sandow, who was never going to be world champion no matter what you did. It was just a missed up, and that was kind of what led to Cody became Stardust, tagged with Goldust. They dangled this promise of a WrestleMania match between the two of them, and it never happened. They got the match on a Raw either before or after WrestleMania, and it was a good match, but it wasn't like the match they wanted. Two brothers against each other at WrestleMania, Cody rejecting the Stardust thing, going back to Cody Rhodes, Goldust being Goldust, and trying to, like, you know, turn his brother back to the light side or whatever.
But old school Goldust, can you imagine? Old school Goldust, he turns into that guy.
There would have been they had all of these things that they wanted to do. You know what I mean? These were the things that they were talked about and like I said, dangled in front of them. They were taken away. And again, these are just little dominoes that fall that lead to AEW coming about. Because after that, Cody was done. He talked to his dad. He didn't renew his contract. He went to Japan. He went to TNA. He did the whole thing, blah, blah, blah. Did All In with the Young Bucks. AEW comes up next, and then, you know, history's history, comes back to WWE. But all of this started with him losing that Money in the Bank.
Well, I'm sure he's glad he lost that Money in the Bank.
I'm looking at it now, it was the best thing that ever happened to him.
Best thing to ever happen to him.
So moving on, Triple Threat, Natalya, Roxanne, and Becky Lynch was also very good.
Yep.
There were some missed spots, and I think a few with Roxanne. But overall, I thought it was a great match, and I was glad to see Roxanne be the one that got over. And the pop Lyra Valkyria got when she interfered and took out Becky Lynch, that surprised me. She's really starting to get over with the fans.
Bird Lady needs to fly out there one day. Like, I know they won't do the Owen thing anymore, but I like maybe like a Cirque du Soleil kind of like just like 3 or 4 feet off the ground. She needs to fly in and either like fly in and be like, caw, and clothesline somebody, or like during a big entrance, she needs to fly in. Bird Lady is getting over, and I love it. I love that the new crop is starting to get over, because the alternative is you go back to what the women's division was when there was only like 2 or 3 over talent, and then everybody else was jabronis.
True. And then your main event, you had Jey Uso, Braun Breaker.
Dude, this
kind of went the way we expected it to, no?
Well, yeah, of course.
Yeah.
But Braun Breaker, I mean, I've been all in on this guy since.
I love Braun Breaker. Since
that the time Chucky came out on Halloween Havoc for NXT, like right around that time, he just like started breaking out, and I'm like, this is the guy. You put all your eggs in this fucking basket. He's got a good look, like he's got like a strong, like a Roman gladiator kind of face, you know what I mean? It's just like the build, the whole thing, and then the athleticism. Like he's got hops, like, you know what I mean? He's got a good vertical. He can do the spear. His spear is better than anybody's spear aside from maybe Goldberg, because Goldberg didn't give a fucking legitimately speared you. Let's see.
The match was it was pretty good. It was very good, actually.
Big Heck back with us. Becky Roxanne missed the spot botch. Was so bad they had no clue how to abandon a spot work on the fly. He's not wrong. There was a couple times too. There was also blatantly loud. You hear Becky on the outside saying Roxy, Roxy, and then she runs in and like she was about to miss another spot. So, but you know, Roxy for the most part is just coming up to the main roster. So, you know, it could just be a few jitters here or there, but overall,
that's a big spot for her, man. That's a big spot. Think about it. How long has she been in the main roster? Signed? Wasn't it last week?
She just signed to the main roster, but she's been appearing. For the last
yesterday
few months.
They did it live on the show yesterday, right?
Yeah, or the video was right before they went on the air.
Right. So I mean, like you said, it's a big spot for a girl like that. It's not easy. Anything else on this match? Because I have a question.
Go for your question.
So I've been seeing this thing on TikTok that they always ask the wrestlers when they're interviewing them if they had to get out of a bar, them and 4 other wrestlers. Who would those 4 other wrestlers be? So I want to ask you guys in order, Steve, starting with you, sir. If you had to take 4 wrestlers all times to help you get out of a bar, who would you take?
Of all time, so not current
All
roster.
time. All time.
Okay.
If you, we got 10 minutes. If you want, you could give me current roster, and then you could give me all time to make it
there
more
you go.
interesting.
See, I had 3 old school guys and maybe a 4th. Yeah, I think I got my 4 for the old school guys.
I think I got. Well, I want to combine my. So 4. I got Austin.
Mhm.
I got Kevin Nash. I got Undertaker. And I got my main man, Barrio Rikers.
Oh, there you go.
That's my 4.
Who you got?
Dylan, and Dylan. He spits hot fire. Fucking 20-year-old Chappelle Show reference for you there, folks. My 4 old school ones would be Haku, Jim the Anvil Neidhart, Bruiser Brody, and New Jack.
Ooh,
All right.
those are solid.
My 4 would be Psycho Sid.
Oh, good call.
Fuck, who's the other one I just had in my head?
Dude, Hector has a good.
I heard y'all all talking and I forgot my fucking guy.
I had to write them down. I was getting confused too. Animal and Vader are
Psycho
such
Sid.
good picks.
Who the fuck was it that I had in my head? God damn it.
Animal, you would have been all set with Haku and Animal.
Now I'm gonna have to fucking pick new guys. So Psycho Sid is definitely one of them.
For sure.
Bill Goldberg is another one.
Oh yeah.
Brock Lesnar is the other
Oh,
one.
how have we not saying Lesnar?
Yes. And
man, who's the
Mongo
other
should
one?
be in there. Fucking R.I.P. Mongo. You know Mongo mixed it up back in the Horseman days too.
He did, but I want big fuckers that would just
form a
make
wall.
way for me to get fucking out of there. And my last
Oh,
guy
you're not
that I will
helping.
pick,
Okay.
you know what? I'm gonna go strategically. I'm gonna go fucking Yokozuna.
Ooh, that's a
I'm gonna
great
be
one.
right behind that ass and getting the fuck out of there, while the other guys are clearing way. One to my right, one to my left, and another one behind me.
All right. Well, that was great.
my God.
I enjoyed that. But we're getting to the top of the hour, and there is something that we do need to discuss.
Let's fucking go.
So,
Why did we just get serious and funny at the same time?
well, because wait, hold on. Big Heck, Brock, Braun, Bill. Call them the Killer Bees. I like that.
Somebody
All
got
right.
in 2K.
So we have our winners of LFG. Taker got presented with the inaugural LFG title belt, which looked awesome, by the way. And our 2 winners were Jasper and the gold medalist, who I couldn't stand, to be honest with you. I couldn't stand her the entire way through. Not to say that she wasn't decent in the ring. I just found her very annoying. Jasper, I think, is a solid choice. I like Jasper a lot. But Shiloh was my guy. And I think Shiloh brought a little more personality than Jasper. I think either way, some of them are going to get called up. I was very surprised that Xena didn't get called through. I mean, she was perfect week after week. And then to wrestle that final match with a knee injury and fight through it, I really for sure figured, based on that alone, they were going to give it to her. And they decided not to. I was pretty disappointed with those results, to be honest.
I think this is one of those things like Tough Enough where 3 or 4 of these people are also they're already signed to some sort of contract because they're appearing on TV.
Right.
So I imagine most of them will go back into developmental. Maybe a couple of them will get cut, but I mean, if they really underperform. But I think, like you said, Shiloh's got a chance. even just on name alone, Elijah Holyfield, just being the son of Evander Holyfield, gets a big fucking pass by a lot of people, and
Yeah.
he could be made into something.
I have a question. Who's the guy, the big black guy with the dreads?
Jasper. He's the one
Did he
that
win?
won. Yeah.
I like them.
I like
saw
him
the
too.
Show, I saw the show very few times, and I really got a good. I hope they keep that dark vibe with him, because it works for him. I like it, and he was the one that stuck out of me. And you know what, Steve?
Yeah.
The girl, the annoying one, for some reason, annoyed me too. But guess what? She was the only one that stuck out of me outside of the Samoan girl. And I thought the Samoan girl was pretty good too.
She was good. I hope she gets a spot also. So.
Yeah,
but
I think they'll all get a chance for sure.
I think so. I enjoyed LFG. I hope they bring it back. I thought it was a great show. It really give you a different side of the business, which I liked.
I think I heard something. They've signed on for like some ridiculous number, like 5 seasons or 10 seasons of this already. And
See, one thing I did hear is that they are definitely coming back with another season. Mickey James won't be in it. I think she's being replaced by Michelle McCool.
The best thing I've heard in a very long time is the Netflix documentary that WWE is going to do, finally going behind the scene and showing everything they do.
Yes.
Fucking
like
awesome.
into the writing and everything.
God.
Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Yeah. It's like that Formula One type shit that you go behind the scene and follow them at home and shit like that. Like, that's awesome.
I just don't want them to give up too much of the. I mean, we already know it's a fucking show, but like, come on, guys. Like, there's leave a little bit of the magic behind the scenes. Like, the magicians can't tell how you do the tricks.
Yeah, I agree with that too. And I think they're going to give away a lot, but I still think they're going to hold the line. They're not going to give all the secrets up.
Yeah.
But
well, I mean, I think it's past stuff anyways. So I think it shows you. I believe it's going to be like the way they show you they get to a storyline or something.
Oh yeah,
they won't give you future shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
They'll show you like the development and how they get there. That's what I'm hoping for.
It'll be stuff we've already seen.
Right.
Yeah,
storylines we've
The
already
results
seen.
in. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we have reached the top of the hour.
Holy Moses, we did it again. With so much stuff coming up, because this weekend is this weekend a pay-per-view for WWE?
Saturday night's main event.
Yep. Oh, so it's like a pay-per-view anyway.
It's on Peacock, right? No.
It's an NBC product, so it's got to be. You know, a Saturday night's main event is always on NBC, so it's either on NBC or it's on Peacock.
Well, what time does it start? 8?
8 o'clock.
All right. I should be home by 8, or I should be like 10 minutes late, but I'll have it on VCR.
Yeah, you can
DVR.
Definitely rewind that. And then the 25th is AEW Double or Nothing from Glendale, Arizona, and that one's looking like another banger as well.
What are the matches? Do you know what the card is so far?
Yeah, so real quick, since we're about to pack up, there's the
we got 2 minutes.
Yep, Hangman against Ospreay in the finals of the men's Owen. Jamie Hayter against Mercedes Moné in the final of the women's Owen. The Hurt Syndicate against Dustin Rhodes and Sammy Guevara for the AEW Tag Team Championships. Timeless Tony Storm against Mina Shirakawa for the Women's World Championship. FTR with Stokely Hathaway versus Daniel Garcia and Nigel McGuinness. And Mark Briscoe versus Ricochet in a stretcher match.
Wow. A stretcher match?
This is the first time I've seen a stretcher match since the Big Show picked up Rey Mysterio and swung him like a baseball bat.
That's crazy. That means you got to get real fucked up. Like you cannot get up.
Dude, so I don't know if you've paid attention to AEW the last couple weeks. The last couple months, Ricochet's been a piece of shit, but in the last couple weeks, he went over to Zach Gowen in the crowd and stole his fucking fake leg and walked away with it. So Zach Gowen challenged him to a match the next week. Ricochet walks out with the leg, and Zach Gowen hops out on one leg and wrestles the whole match with one leg, and Ricochet beats the shit out of him.
He's amazing.
It's amazing what he can do with one leg. Ricochet tried to do a figure 4, but he couldn't figure out how to do it because he only had one leg. That was pretty funny.
That is funny.
That's great.
But Ricochet's Ricochet's
I can only imagine.
He did the twirl, you know what I mean? You do the twirl, and then he looked down, And then he looked at the
hooked
crowd.
up
He's
one
like,
leg, went around, like, wait a minute.
yeah, and then he's like, what do I do?
That is funny.
It's great. So yeah, and he's just been a big piece of shit lately. So yeah, stretcher
That's
match
awesome.
seems
That's
needed.
good for him, though. They're keeping him relevant at least.
Dude, it's amazing. He's really turned it around. Yeah, Terzekow's back, but he was back for one time in like the last. He wrestled last week, so you can definitely check that match out. It was on Dynamite. I believe it was Dynamite last Wednesday. So
I recorded the Dynamite, so I'll go back in them.
yeah, but if you see it, they'll even set it up with the promo videos and stuff. So you probably don't need to watch the week before unless you want to watch the whole segment. But like, he walks away with the guy's leg just like around, like how somebody would carry like a shotgun on the way back from hunting, just like over your shoulder, just walking away. But yeah, I guess that brings us to the top of the hour. Lots of stuff. So when we get back next week, we're going to talk about Saturday night's main event, and we'll talk about SmackDown, and we'll talk about AEW Double or Nothing. A lot of wrestling this weekend. I love it. So, yeah, on behalf of Al and Steve and myself, this is the War Report brought to you by Tag Me a Date. Of course, follow us on social media at Tag Me a Date, no spaces. That is the best place to find us on Twitter /X, Instagram. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. Facebook, the Tag Me a Date page. If you give that the old thumbs up like, it'll go right into your feed. So when we go live, it'll show up on your Facebook app. If you are on YouTube, you go to Tag Me a Date in the search bar. It will bring up our channel. Hit the subscribe button and hit the bell to get notified when we go live on YouTube as well. As I said, most of our social media is at Tag Me a Date. You can also find us on TikTok, the War Report Podcast.
Yep.
All that. All right, excellent. The War Report Podcast on TikTok. TikTok and Instagram, we share reels during the week, shorts of what we broke down in an episode that maybe you didn't see yet, or maybe you just want to watch the reel again. So that's the best place for those reels. And if you prefer the audio version of the podcast instead of the video version, you can go to your favorite podcast app, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play Podcasts. Search for the War Report. Search for Tag Me a Date. It will come up. We have the graphic here in the corner that as you can see, that is what you're going to be looking for. In the description of the podcast, it will also say all of our names like Steve and Vince, et cetera, et cetera. All you need to do is hit subscribe on your favorite podcast app. And within the hour of the podcast going off stream, Ryan grabs the audio and puts it up on the podcast app so you can take it with you and listen while you're grocery shopping or whatever it is that you want to listen to your podcast while you're doing. Before we go, I just want to thank everybody out in the comments, especially David Rosca, who always comes in early with a comment, Tara, who's always there, Ryan was in the comments tonight, Autumn was in there saying something nice about Zoe Stark, so we won't talk about it, but thank you. And, of course, Big Heck Barrio Rikers in the chat as well. Hey, we did talk about your boy that passed away a couple shows ago. And we
65,000 views on TikTok, by the way.
And we talked, and we talked about that infamous spot that is etched in Botchamania history, but in a very good way. It's nothing disrespectful. So thanks, Barrio, for being in the chat tonight. I want to see another match. When are you wrestling again? We'll find out. Anyway, thanks you guys so much for tuning in. This is the War Report After Dark. We're going to be here again next Tuesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Have a great week.